Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing my April TBR because the first time I filmed it, it decided not to upload. So I have already filmed this and I didn't delete it, but I didn't feel like rewatching the video I already filmed, edited, fully exported, but wouldn't upload to YouTube without it taking 36 hours. I didn't feel like watching it, so I grabbed what I could remember. But aside from that, I have finished 4 books so far this month, so I'm not going to be talking about those. I'm going to save those for my wrap-up, which I am going to be doing a wrap-up really soon of all the books that I've read so far this year. We will talk about the books that I am currently reading, as well as the books that I hope to be reading for the rest of the month. And I apologize for it being so late, because that was not the goal. At the same time, better late than never. So here we go. We will start with the audiobook that I am currently listening to, just so that I don't forget, and that is Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, I believe is the author's name. Okay, before I say I'm really enjoying it, I am really enjoying it, but at the same time, I also don't know how I feel about it. The first reason is because I have read one Taming of the Shrew retelling before. I've never read The Taming of the Shrew. I don't like Shakespeare. Hot take. I don't like it. It's just not my thing. I've read one Taming of the Shrew retelling, and it was a young adult one that was super popular. Everybody loved it, and I hated it. I'm also thinking about doing a video where I rant about all of the books that are super popular that I hate, because I've never really done that before. And I will rate books low, but I won't do a dedicated review for why, but people have asked for them. I would never be super mean, just like the things that frustrated me. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I really vehemently disliked that book. So this one is also a Taming of the Shrew retelling. It's about our 2 main characters, Karina and Prem. And Prem is a doctor, and he's trying to open this community center, specifically but his target clientele is South Asian women, because he had an experience, ended up losing their life because the healthcare system doesn't really support South Asian women like it should, or at least respect them and listen to them. They're just, the healthcare for them is underdeveloped in the United States. So he's trying to do something to change that. And Karina has just found out that her father is going to be selling the house that she grew up in and helped renovate with her mother, who passed when she was very young, and this is very upsetting to her. She wants to buy the house from him, but it's a big house, it's very expensive, and she just took a giant pay cut because she decided to leave a law firm that she was employed at to kind of do what she really wanted to do, which was work at a women's help center type thing. She's an attorney, and it doesn't make as much, but she's helping women and protecting them, and that's really what she wanted to do. So they both have things that they need to do. The deadlines match up. Each of their parents, respectively, are offering them money if they can get married, since they are both getting not older by any means, but just because of their culture, the families really want them to hurry up and have a wedding, specifically in Karina's case because her younger sister is getting married and it just doesn't look good to her family. So there's a lot of pressure for them to date, and they decide to come up with this. Oh yeah, I forgot. One day Karina and Prem get into an argument that goes viral while he is on his talk show with her sister, and she's behind the scenes. They end up getting into an argument on a live stream. It goes viral, and some of his investors pull out in order to convince his investors that he is worth investing in again, as well as his family and her family, so that they can get the money for each of their own projects. They want to be engaged by the aforementioned deadline. That was a very long explanation. Hopefully I can summarize the rest of these a lot faster, but the only things that I'm not super loving about this book, the big one is the fact that it's The Taming of the Shrew, where it's like Karina needs to bend and change herself because nobody likes her as she is. And it's just so annoying. Like, yeah, it can be hard to find your perfect match, and 100% agree, but like, that was the problem that I had with the other book as well, is like, just because she's abrasive or she's not like the ideal societal whatever, and it goes beyond like the cultural aspect, is what I'm taking away from it, where like she's less valued the older she gets from her culture. It's also just the fact that like people don't like your personality, and it's like, okay, but I like my personality, and I'm not being mean to anyone. Like, I'm just blunt, and it's not in a way that's like disrespectful for others, but I'm not afraid to get what I want, and I'm not sorry that I put my career and like stabilized my life before everything else. So like, screw you. So that's the only thing that's like kind of holding me back, but other than that, I'm really enjoying it. And I just spent 8 minutes talking about one book. So the other book that I am currently in the middle of is Hook, Line, and Sinker. This is the sequel to It Happened One Summer, both by Tessa Bailey. I am loving this. In this one, we are following Hannah's sister. We're following Hannah's sister, who is a production assistant, I think, and she ends up convincing her producer that Westport is the perfect place to film this movie, in where she reconnects with Fox, even though they have been texting pretty consistently for the past 7 months, and she ends up having to stay with him. So it's got a little bit of forced proximity, friends to lovers, convincing themselves that they're not really attracted to each other, but they definitely are. I am doing a full dedicated spoiler-filled reading vlog for this because I loved the first book so much, and I just thought it would be fun to vlog all of my reactions to this book as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that, but I am already really enjoying this one. Everything is a yes from me. I only have one other romance on this list, which is so surprising given how much romance I've been reading, but these were the books that were really just calling my name out. So we've got some manga, thrillers, as well as some pretty chunky fantasies for the rest of the month. So I really need to get started on reading them if I'm going to be successful with this TBR. Diving into the manga, we have Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 2. Why did I do that? Of the Fullmetal editions, in case you're wondering where I got this cover. In my most recent book shopping vlog, that maybe you haven't seen yet, but it should be my next video after this one, I picked up a couple of these, and I was thinking that it would be really cool to do a full like 24 and 48 hour readathon or something, just like a day of reading where I read a bunch of my manga, specifically these, because I have been looking for volume 2 for so long. I am super excited to have this one, and I can't wait to read it. I know it's going to be a quick read once I sit down and finally do it. I don't know why I've been putting it off, but I am so stoked about this one. Then we have No Longer Human by Junji Ito. This story is the original story is by Osamu Dazai. I have no idea how you pronounce that, and I am fully certain that I pronounced it wrong, but I am super excited to get to this one. I love Junji Ito's art style, and I also really enjoy his writing, but I preferred Gyo to Tomi in that Gyo was one cohesive chronological story, where Tomi just felt like a bunch of short stories about the same character. So I'm hoping that this one is also one continuous story and not so disjointed like some of his other collections. Like his short story collections, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but when it's supposed to be like one novel, I didn't love the formatting of that. So I'm really excited for this one because I do love that longer format. I don't know how to describe that, but you get the point. Then, switching gears with the genre of manga, we have Watakoi Volume 2. I read Watakoi Volume 1 back in March of last year, and I was like apprehensive about it, but once it was explained to me that like the comments that were making me a little bit uncomfortable were meant as jokes and they weren't meant in a bullying way as I originally thought they were, I felt a lot better about it, and I think reading it, I would probably give it a 4 out of 5 stars. So I'm really excited for this one. This is just about like some gamer couples and all their little quirks and their romances, and it's just very fun, sometimes awkward, very lighthearted. And I figured if I did do that like reading manga for a day vlog, then this would be a good one to like break everything up. I mean, I have a few of those, but this is definitely one that I've been eyeing for a while and I really want to read, especially because I've had it on my shelves like since I've read the last one. Moving away from the manga era, we have The Rumor Game, which is one of the books that I most recently picked up. I recently picked this up after getting my blood drawn because that was my reward for getting my blood drawn, since I don't do well with any of that. That whole process is just traumatizing to me. This is by Danielle Clayton and Sona Charaporta. This one is just supposed to be about like a high school where people are gossiping and the effects of how the rumor mill can go and all of those like sorts of things that you deal with in high school. It's one of the few YA books that has sounded super intriguing to me, and it's mixed media format, so I am super stoked to get to this one, and I just keep thinking about it when I'm not reading. Or even when I am reading, and how I want to be reading this book. I'm very excited. I haven't heard anybody talk about this. I didn't even know it was coming out. I didn't know it was a thing. So hopefully I enjoy it. It's also supposed to be a thriller, so I just thought that that would be a fun little monkey wrench to throw in. Moving back to the other romance, the last romance on this list, we have The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I put this in my spring TBR video. I've seen so many mixed reviews about this one lately, which I also said in that video, and I just feel like it's going to be a good time. It's been in the back of my mind for such a long time to put it on TBRs, and I just haven't done it, so I'm finally doing it this month. Holy crap, I have to sneeze. Okay, we're good. As I was saying, it's been in the back of my mind for quite a few months, literally ever since I've gotten it, and it's just one that I feel like I'm going to love, or at least have a good time reading it, even if I don't love the story. I knew I just finally had to put it on a TBR because it's like been on the verge of being on so many TBRs for the past 3 months. Lastly, the fantasy House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City series. If you're new to my channel, I have not read this book before. This is my first read through of it. I'm currently 134 pages into it and really enjoying it. And Rylan recently read it and said that she was sobbing and that I needed to read it ASAP. I also need to hurry up and read it because she said once she finishes her degree is when she's planning on starting the second one, and I really want to buddy read it with her. So I need to hurry up and read this one. I think Stacia might pick it up soon, and we might buddy read this one and then potentially all buddy read the second one together. I mean, if Elle picks it up, we'll do a 4-way and it would be the best. But I think Elle's in a reading slump, so I'm not trying to put this pressure on her. Once I'm in a fantasy mood, probably once I'm burnt out from romance, I'll pick this one up. I feel like it's a good segue since it does have elements of romance in it, and I stopped at a really good part, so I think that it will like fly through. Once I do pick it back up, I'll be fully immersed in everything that's happening. That's the hope. Anyway, and then lastly, a book that has just been calling my name is Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard, especially since I saw the cover of the sequel released on her Instagram. First of all, I am just obsessed with Victoria Aveyard as a person in general. Love her Instagram. She seems cool. Like if I was her age, it feels like we could be friends. I mean, if she wants to be friends now, that's awesome. I can't relate to anything about her except that I want to be her. Anyway, this one I don't know tons about, but I do know that everybody pretty much loved this. I haven't seen any negative reviews for it, and the one way that I saw this described as like a tagline, even though it's not on here, was they're not good enough to save the world, but what if they're bad enough? And that sounds amazing. It's also been described as Guardians of the Galaxy meets The Lord of the Rings, and that sounds very fun. So I am super stoked. I don't know what else to say. I'm so excited. It sounds amazing. Blade Breaker comes out this year. I would love to have this finished before then, and I feel like it's one that I'll just fly through and again be fully immersed in. I've been filming for 20 minutes to talk about like 8 books, and that seems quite ridiculous if you ask me, but I kind of don't regret it. Thank you if you've stuck with me so far in this video. I truly appreciate you. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below what you guys are planning on reading for the month of April. I would absolutely love to know. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think I'm gonna think of them, what you thought of them. We could just have a full discussion. I would love that. I love you all so much. I hope you're doing well, reading, mentally, and otherwise. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye, guys.